Mars is finally on the move, and I am here to inform you all about this powerful cosmic change as Mars enters Leo. Phew! Hi, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and welcome back, Cosmic Warriors. Before we do dive into today's video, if you want to learn more about astrology, then head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then go to hannahselsewhere.com. And I also want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Astopia. Keep watching to learn more about Astopia. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's do this. All right, so before we get into the juicy stuff with Mars re-entering Leo, the very fiery sign of Leo, I want to take you back to when Mars first entered Leo last year. It was Scorpio season, and the ruler of the season, Mars, of course, entered Leo on the 3rd of November. With Mars being in its pre-shadow period leading up to the Mars retrograde, back then we really were gearing up for a confidence upgrade, for a powerful individuality change, for an honest review of our ego, of our pride even. Scorpio season, after all, is about death and rebirth, renewal, transformation. And so with Mars being in Leo, ego shifts were to be expected. Identifying which parts of the self we no longer felt connected to. A time of releasing, of shedding. A revival of our hearts was very much underway. However, we had to walk through the valley of darkness to access such locked away truths. Trusting in ourselves was key. And as Mars retrograde began from the 6th of December 2024 all the way until the 23rd of February 2025, the truth indeed was revealed. Naturally, given how Mars started its pre-shadow period during Libra season, we knew as well that our relationships would be tested and challenged throughout the process. And so we were asked during Mars retrograde, who are you? And how do you feel? What do you want out of life? Is this relationship serving you? What are you getting from it? And how might you be getting in your own way? Themes of self-sabotage came up, seeing in which ways we cling and resist change, how we cling to the past, how we cling to the very familiar, times when we remain stuck, stiff. And as Pisces and Aries season came around, Venus and Mercury retrograde in both Aries and Pisces wanted to sort of take our hand and direct us towards ourselves. Times have been murky, foggy, uncertain, directionless, with many experiencing fatigue. I mean, to think that Mars had been in Cancer for a grand total of 5.5 months, right? Thinking about half of the year. That's a long time of Mars being in its fall. That's half a year of taking action based on our emotions, based on how we feel. And as we all know, how we feel about something is subject to change. What I have noticed, interestingly, is how many people who post regularly have not been posting as much, especially coming into 2025. And I do wonder about the lack of energy over the past number of months. Though, on that note, this is not a bad or negative thing, because the beauty of Mars in Cancer is that we're able to really assess what is important to us energetically speaking, seeing what and who offers us emotional support. We have been able to change our goals based on our need for security, and our tenacity has been our greatest strength. Oh yes, Mars in Cancer is strong, very resilient. And the even more powerful thing about it too is that Mars in Cancer opposed Pluto in Capricorn mid-November 2024, right before Pluto entered Aquarius. Waving goodbye to Capricorn, of course, for another 200 years or so. So that highlighted courage and bravery about our self-respect and our inner authority. Think about it. That opposition was a closing of sorts, an ending. As Pluto will not be in Capricorn again in our lifetime, it was an opportunity to shed old skin. And as Mars retrograde in Cancer occurred throughout January and February 2025, we got to check in with ourselves and deepen our understanding, right? For example, maybe you made peace with a relationship ending or an old job that no longer served you. Something from your past was revisited for greater perspective about a decision that you already knew deep down. A situation that may have lasted for about 15 years was closed and finalized. And so we arrive at Mars re-entering Leo, this bold and passionate fire sign that does not hold back from expressing itself. What you may notice from the move as Mars re-enters Leo on the 18th of April all the way until mid-June is that you're more sure of yourself, right? You're more confident about your direction and you feel greater inspiration and aliveness with this wild eagerness, right? To create and to produce. Naturally, Mars in Leo rejoins Pluto in Aquarius for this mighty jolt of energy, as if your passion can soar. Like you can do incredible, remarkable things. You've got the power, right? With greater determination and grit, you may feel like you can finally move forward with those creative projects, with those plans that you have been preparing or just kind of thinking about for a while. Though, if you are looking for some advice and guidance as Mars enters Leo on the 18th of April, make sure to download the Astopia app. Astopia is an astrology app that lets you read your stars with ease. And they are offering personalized insights on how to navigate this very powerful energetic shift. So Astopia's tailored planetary movements section can support you along your journey, even just showing you here on screen. It's so easy to navigate, and they can offer you some transformative reflections that are really unique to you. Oh yes, Astopia will keep you up to date. To download the Astopia app, go to the link in the description, and I want to say thank you so much to Astopia for sponsoring today's video. Though, perhaps it is also important to highlight the elephant in the room, the opposition between Mars and Pluto. Again, oh my goodness, this opposition can be rather explosive. Power struggles are probable. A few people might hurt you or get hurt by our actions. Any out of balance power dynamics will most likely be addressed. Best way to make use of this energy is work out, move your body, release any pent up emotions and tension, and to welcome a major turning point or this transition, right? This, you see, is about transformation of the self, as if a part of the self that felt dead is finally coming back online. A very healing time, especially after all the inner work we have been performing over the last 6 months. Yes, you have got the power. On the other hand, due to it being a pretty intense, triggering time, some of us might experience a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, feelings of abandonment, helplessness, wishing things were different, right? Feeling isolated, lonely. After quite a heavy time of Mars being in Cancer, aligning with Pisces in the sky, it's sad to think that certain people will never change, or that life is changing. There is no going back to the way things were. I am thinking here about how all of the planets will change signs throughout 2025. This transitional year of endings and clearing space. With change, you see, comes grief, loss, regret, fear, anxiety. Though I hope that during this time you can draw from your strength, your courage, right? Mars and Leo, draw from your courage. We can be brave. Feel how you feel and move through the challenges of rebirth. I hope you are enjoying this video so far, and if you are, make sure to subscribe and give the video a like. And if you're interested in learning more about astrology, then you can always pick up a copy of my astrology cheat sheets. The links are down below. Thank you so much. Now, throughout Taurus season, the Sun will create a T-square with Mars and Pluto, adding more tension, more pressure to the mix, right? But we are also encouraged to slow down and ground ourselves, to be mindful of our body and what it needs. Perhaps Taurus can help us out with some healthy forms of regulation and greater ease, deep breaths, getting out into nature, being firm, following a simpler routine. Then Mars will also square Mercury in Taurus and trine Venus in Aries towards the end of Taurus season. So there are creative and active themes about Mars in Leo here, but there are also themes of resistance and friction, as if others are not ready to listen, they're not ready to face the truth. Times when it might feel like we're talking to a brick wall, right? Let's just say there are times during Taurus season that will feel tense, disruptive, disharmonious. Again, why it'll behoove us to move slowly and to not get involved in drama. But then you see, as we enter Gemini season, Saturn will enter Aries as well, and Mars will create harmonious aspects with Jupiter and Venus. An identity shift is up ahead, it appears, one of responsibility, dignity, decisiveness, bravery, and taking accountability for our actions. A time of honesty and truth, self-discovery, committing to our passions, and both our values and our morals will support us. Mars, during its travels through Leo, invites us to be a brave lion. A lion of heart, a lion of courage and truth, of healthy pride. Seeing that the vision started by Neptune in Aries can be structured and laid out well. This is about believing in ourselves, and as Mars creates a square to Uranus in Taurus before leaving Leo, we're in for a few shocks and surprises. The unexpected and the unpredictable are ahead. But remember, you have got the power. Okay, so with the astrology being explained all about Mars and Leo, let's get into your horoscopes for this transit. Thank you so much. First up, then we have Aries. Okay, so Aries, there appears to be a transformation you have experienced over recent months, related to your social influence, related to friendships, teams, groups, communities. And you see, what we're noticing then with Mars re-entering your 5th house for the next couple of months, this, I feel, is about you now moving forward with this eagerness, more of this enthusiasm, this passion, this aliveness to get moving when it comes to your creative projects, right? And to maybe even look at your creativity in a whole new light. I'm thinking to myself, you feeling inspired in a different way. Of course, yes, with the opposition to Pluto, it could be that there is a power struggle, a power dynamic that is present between you and friends, you and members of the group. But as time progresses, as Mars continues through Leo, what we are going to notice is that, sure, okay, with it being Taurus season, first of all, this is about you hopefully being intentional when it comes to your security, your stability, focusing more so on those areas, right? What you're building, your wealth. And then coming into Gemini season, well, maybe we could look at this as you feeling quite inspired or passionate about your communicative projects, about certain subjects you're learning, or ways that you want to maybe show up on social media. But essentially, Aries, this is about a confidence upgrade when it comes to your creativity. Thank you, Aries. Now moving on to Taurus. So Taurus, what we see here is that you have experienced some kind of transformation with relation to your career path, your accomplishments, your long-term goals, your reputation perhaps here, notable changes. But as Mars re-enters your 4th house, we can look at this as you feeling inspired in a whole new way when it comes to your family life. Maybe making your family more of a priority, or focusing more so on your goals within your home or when it comes to your living situation. Equally, however, sure, we could also read this as you still experiencing some power struggle, maybe between you and family members about your career, or power struggles with members of authority. So I think there are still a few more events and lessons that will come up, but just focus maybe more so, Taurus, on how throughout your season, yes, maybe it's about being able to ground yourself and focus on what your aims, what your goals are. Could be about some new, like a new chapter of your life, right? And so maybe this is where we're going to see you being a bit more stable and secure within yourself, even though all of that stuff could be going on. And then also coming into Gemini season, right? We're going to look at this as you hopefully feeling like you can do it with relation to your finances. What I'm thinking about is the combination of the 4th and the 2nd, your material wealth, your security, and how that stuff is tied to your home. I'm thinking about maybe you wanting to change something about your home or about your living situation. But overall, this is about a confidence upgrade with relation to your emotional needs. Thank you so much, Taurus. And now on to Gemini. All right, so Gemini, over the past few months, perhaps you have underwent some kind of transformation when it comes to your worldviews, your belief system. Maybe long distance travel is a part of this, higher education, teaching, your publications, etc. And maybe some advanced training. And so with Mars re-entering your 3rd house here, Gemini, we could read this as you feeling this push, feeling this greater inspiration, this passion, this fire within you to want to get things moving within communities, right? Local communities, or within certain social events, and thinking even about vehicles, or learning how to drive a certain vehicle, or maybe just learning in general, right? Something that you want to educate yourself on, right? This is about education and learning, and also maybe about how it is that you communicate. So yeah, we could see some interesting developments happen within the realms of communication for you. Plus, it could also be here, Gemini, that power struggles may occur, perhaps between you and a mentor, you and a teacher, a professor, a religious figure. Maybe there could be some disputes amongst siblings, cousins. Yes, so those kinds of situations could be addressed. But we want to remember that during Taurus season, remember that the sun is in your 12th house throughout the season. In this regard, take it slow. Try and not rush too quickly. Listen to your inner voice. Maybe take some time to yourself when you need it. Self-care could be a bit of a priority here for you, Gemini, throughout Taurus season. And then equally, whenever it comes to your season, of course, right, it'll be your birthday season for all of you solar Gemini out there. We could then see this show up as you getting out there, you making things happen and shaking a few things up, changing things about your environment, having more of this go-getter attitude, so to speak. But overall, this is about a confidence upgrade, Gemini, when it comes to communication. Thank you so much, Gemini. And now on to Cancer. So, Cancer, over the past number of months, you have underwent a transformation, I think, related to, could be shared resources, paying off debts. It could also be about exploring your unconscious drives and motivations. Or this could show up as you exploring intimacy, emotional bonding, a transformation related to trust, or even conception. But you see, with Mars re-entering your second house, okay, so with Mars entering Leo, it'll move into your second house. We could look at this as you feeling this greater push to want to make things happen within the realm of your personal security, your personal finances, your values, getting things back on track, wanting to make things happen, wanting to save for something, or making sure that you can budget better. Your spending habits are very much highlighted here. And equally, sure, we could look at this as some power struggles between you and an intimate partner, maybe about money, about your finances, whose is what, and sharing and all the rest of it. So yeah, we could see some challenges there present, Cancer. And with Taurus season, so throughout Taurus season, maybe this is where you can lean on healthy relationships, healthy friendships, basically. This could also be about support within your communities if things do become quite tense. Or we can look at this as you feeling quite stable within yourself, grounded. When it comes to your hopes and wishes, maybe this is where it's about trying to get back to basics and trying to assess the very value of your hopes and wishes for the future. And that could, of course, involve your intimate partner, right? And of course, coming into Gemini season, then this is when I think, well, you could, in fact, take some time to look over behind the scenes. What is working well, and what would you like to change, and how would you like to move forward? You know, because I'm thinking about how your season will be after Gemini season, and then Jupiter will be entering your sign too. So maybe in a way, Gemini season can highlight a time of going over certain goals and plans. And I can't help but think some of those goals and plans will be linked to that of travel, relocating, taking on maybe a new program, something like that, just because of that connection with Jupiter entering your sign. But essentially, this is about confidence upgrades within the realms of money. Thank you so much, Cancer. And now on to Leo. All right, so Leo, we're noticing a significant transformation that has occurred over recent months. Well, within your relationships, okay? A transformation that has occurred between you and another person. Could also be a significant transformation that has happened in your partner's life. Could also be related to business, collaborations, partnership, right? But here we see Mars re-entering your sign. Oh, interesting. So we're going to see some, well, identity changes, feeling yourself, right? Feeling like you just want to go after your goals, you want to make things happen, and it's very much about you, okay? It's about your identity, your individuality, your independence, being very eager, very driven to go after the things you want and making things happen and being proud of yourself, being confident about the next step. Self-assurance is a big part of this, Leo. Now, with that being said, there could also be a few power struggles that will occur between you and your significant other, right? Between you and your partner, or you and a close friend or a close relative. Now, we also want to think about then how Taurus season, so with Taurus season, the sun is in your 10th house. So throughout the season, maybe this is where it'll behoove you to focus more so on getting things in order, right? So getting things in order within your career. When it comes to your longevity, your security, what you're building, managing things in this slow and methodical way, right? Just slow it down and just take your time as you assess, or as you manage, as you organize, plan out your accomplishments, your achievements, what you want to basically achieve long term, right? But then as we move into Gemini season could be a bit lighter, a bit more playful. Could involve a lot of friendships and getting together with people, like minds, communities, groups, all the rest of it. Yeah, could be quite flirty and fun in a way, I think, for you, Leo. Though essentially we're seeing the confidence upgrades occur for you, Leo, well, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to your appearance, how you approach life. Thank you so much, Leo. Now on to Virgo. Okay, so Virgo. We have been noticing here that over the past number of months, you have underwent a significant transformation when it comes to, well, it could be your health. It could be health. It could also be related to your work, your schedules, the workload, your productivity levels, your stress levels. I mean, I've got a Virgo rising, and yes, I can see this. But I also think it's been necessary, right? Indeed. So that's interesting. But then you see, as Mars re-enters Leo, it'll transit your 12th house. This one I feel like can be very inspirational, as if you just want to go after your spiritual goals, your creative goals, goals related to imagination. This could be a very creative time, right? Where behind the scenes, out of the public eye, you just want to do it all. Or it could be where healthy times of rest and relaxation are very much a theme, highlighted and necessary. Also, this could look like you connecting with your inner child in a different way. The parts of you that are childlike and innocent and playful. Entertaining yourself could be a big part of this, right? So actively wanting to focus on entertainment and pleasure whilst you're out of the public eye. Now, at the same time, we could look at this as some power struggles existing amongst co-workers. Could be something about self-sabotage, something about yourself that is holding yourself back, right? Unconscious themes could be highlighted here. Or this could be power struggles that exist when it comes to recovery. So people that maybe you're in recovery with, that's what I'm thinking about. There could be some tension and conflict present. So let's think about the sun being in your 9th house throughout Taurus season. This, I feel, is where it'll behoove you to be slow and steady and calmer about your message, right? So taking your time when you maybe want to express or share an opinion that does focus more on the bigger picture. Could also be about realizing and recognizing what your beliefs are, and perhaps seeing that you don't have to prove yourself to other people. You don't have to jump in or make it known that these are my beliefs and these are my views. Or this could also look like you slowly taking your time when it comes to publications, offerings, teachings. But then as we move into Gemini season, I think Gemini season is going to be when you feel like things just make sense. They make sense professionally. And it's almost as if you can see the truth about your career path, and there is more of a curiosity, this light-hearted, playful energy that will be present when it comes to your career, when it comes to your reputation. Still, however, this confidence upgrade with Mars being in your 12th house, it's more hidden. It's more hidden. It's more about feeling confident within and not feeling like you need to be the loudest person in the room. Thank you so much, Virgo. And now on to Libra. All right, so Libra, what we're seeing for you is that over the past number of months, you have underwent a significant transformation when it comes to, for example, could be children, right? So a transformation related to children, related to pleasure, romantic relationships, creativity could be a part of this, could be a transformative experience even when it comes to play and fun, connecting with your inner child. Maybe when it comes to gambling, right? Too, bets. But you see, with Mars re-entering your 11th house, as Mars, of course, moves into Leo, we are going to see you feel excited about groups and networks and teams, fans, friends, subscribers, followers, communities, right? So communities really showing up in this way where you can shine, you can express yourself, you can feel excited about the team, about exciting projects together. So that's really interesting. At the same time, however, we're going to still notice some power struggles, especially as Mars enters Leo at the beginning. So power struggles maybe between you and certain group members, you and friends, could also be power struggles between you and your children, decisions about children, you and your romantic relationships as well. And when we think about Taurus season to begin with, so the sun will be in your 8th house throughout Taurus season, this could be where it'll be maybe important to try and get back to, okay, what do we value here as a couple? When it comes to intimate relationships, what is it that we appreciate about each other? Or this could manifest as you digging a little deeper, exploring your own unconscious and trying to maybe understand where certain reactions or triggers are coming from. Could also be related to some fears or repressed emotions, right? So those things could come up to the surface to ask you to pay attention a little bit. But then as we move into Gemini season, we could look at this as a bit more travel related, explorative, being quite adventurous and wanting to learn more. Maybe taking on a new program or just adding to the studying, the learning that you've already been doing. Could also be about what you report, what you share online. These kinds of things could really come up, especially within your community. So I'm thinking about interesting creative projects that you want to make happen. But the confidence upgrades are going to happen when it comes to group dynamics. Thank you so much, Libra. And now on to Scorpio. All right, so Scorpio, it seems that you have underwent a significant transformation over the past number of months within your family when it comes to your home. I'm thinking about significant shifts and changes that have occurred within your home. And that, of course, can manifest in many different ways. And I'm also considering the very relationship dynamics between you and certain family members, right? So we're seeing transformations that have occurred. And also, hey, this could be significant transformations within yourself, your emotional security, your emotional well-being. So with that in mind, with Mars re-entering your 10th house, as Mars enters Leo, we are going to see this greater passion, this enthusiasm, this aliveness show up within your career, your profession. When it comes to social media, how you present yourself basically online, your personal brand, We could see this as significant individuality and identity changes related to your career, related to certain accomplishments and achievements, etc. So feeling maybe this eagerness, this willingness to make things happen and to be really courageous, right? To be that brave lion, to put your heart into something long term. And yes, there could also be power struggles that happen between you and certain family members, maybe about your career or about certain changes. Could also be certain power struggles that occur amongst bosses, managers, employers, and so on. So there is that. Though what I will say is, with it being Taurus season to begin with, so when we think about Taurus season, the sun will be in your 7th house. Heck, this could be where your significant other or your business partner, they can help ground you, soothe you in some way, or it's about you relating to people who are more soothing and who can help you feel a bit more calm and relaxed and at ease. And also we could look at this as you preferring certain connections where you feel like there is value, there is substance there. And then as we move into Gemini season, that season, so with the sun being in your 8th house, that's going to be pretty, I think, eye-opening for you internally when it comes to your psychology, when it comes to the occult. Communication could be a big factor here within your intimate relationships, feeling like you're finally getting somewhere, feeling also like things will make sense. So things will make sense related to shared accounts, shared resources, or paying off debts. And those debts could be between you and another. Though it's your confidence upgrades that are going to show up when it comes to the person you are publicly. Thank you so much, Scorpio. And now on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, what we see here is that over the past number of months, you have perhaps underwent a significant transformation when it comes to, well, it could be vehicles, how you get from A to B, how you move throughout your local area. We can look at this as interesting interactions, changing transformations there. So we think about social interactions, but more locally. Or this could be a significant transformation when it comes to learning, social media, communication, siblings, cousins, old friends, childhood friends, things like that. And then with Mars re-entering your 9th house, with Mars going into Leo, well, we see here the excitement and the enthusiasm, the aliveness when it comes to, well, it could be higher education, it could be publishing something, it could be about offerings, teachings, reporting. This could also be about advanced training, some exciting new developments there. Travel could be a part of this, maybe wanting to go somewhere new, explore a different destination. Exploration is very much highlighted. But of course, we're also going to notice the power struggles, right? So power struggles between you and siblings, cousins, neighbors even. Maybe power struggles that could exist over people's beliefs, misunderstandings, people's worldviews, their judgments. Okay, things like this could come up and be activated, especially at the start of Mars entering Leo. But what I will say is that the sun will be in your 6th house during Taurus season. So this could maybe indicate more time for, okay, considering your health, what you need in that moment, mindfulness, steadying yourself, also managing your time, your productivity, your stress levels, being slower and steadier, a bit more relaxed, hopefully, when it comes to your everyday. When it comes to work as well, maybe recognizing how much you take on or what you just physically can't do. And then also coming into Gemini season, Gemini season could be a great season for networking, for trying to collaborate with people. Partnerships could be very much a theme. It could also be that communication between you and your significant other will come up. Maybe also there's greater curiosity present when it comes to you and other people. And in general, maybe you just feel like you want to socialize with others during that season. Perhaps you even decide you want to plan a trip with a friend, right? With a family member. But still, the confidence upgrades for you are going to show up when it comes to your philosophies and your world views and how it is that you share of those things, your beliefs, your morals. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. And now on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, over the past number of months, you have underwent significant transformations when it comes to your finances, your wealth, your spending habits, your earning potential, even when it comes to your values, your self-worth. Very, very interesting. Your skills, your talents as well. Transformations. And of course, those transformations can manifest in many different ways. Still, with Mars re-entering your 8th house as Mars enters Leo, we are seeing this greater intensity happen. Maybe this passion within you to want to make things happen psychologically. Could also be that you undergo a significant transformation related to your goals, related to your art, your creativity, your interests. Could also be a significant renewal tied to children, the relationship you have with your children. Of course, this stuff is still happening in your 8th house of transformation. But equally, I think shifting certain repressed emotions or thoughts could be a part of this. Or exploring your unconscious drives and motivations in a new way, maybe so that they don't result in self-sabotage or self-destructive tendencies. So there is that. So it could be quite a healing time too. But power struggles could still very much happen. So power struggles about money, power struggles about intimacy, power struggles about what is hidden, what is not said, maybe picking up on the undercurrents within the atmosphere. Projection could be a part of this, of course. Could be quite intense and quite heavy, honestly, especially if it is that you are triggered by a certain person or by what they say. And yes, sure, the intensity of what I'm saying here is more so going to happen at the beginning of Mars and Leo. Still, with it being Taurus season, the sun will be in your 5th house. So maybe with the sun in your 5th house throughout Taurus season, it's about self-expression. It's about, individuality. So for instance, not needing to prove yourself to people who don't listen or who don't see you. Could also be themes of validation that come up, and you hopefully being secure within yourself to maybe not get involved. So to not get involved in events that take you away from your purpose or take you away from feeling a bit more calm and regulated. You could recognize whenever you feel more dysregulated during Taurus season, right? But then again, you know what? This could also manifest as you feeling quite calm and at ease and intentional about your creativity, those creative projects of yours. And then when we come into Gemini season could very well invite more of this desire to want to change things, schedule-wise, routine-wise, switching things up. There could be greater curiosity, this more lighthearted feel when it comes to your everyday activities. And even we could see this as you making small changes to your diet, to your fitness schedule, if you're really into your fitness and working out. Heck, this could also be about switching things up when it comes to self-care, Capricorn. Though the confidence upgrades that you will experience with Mars being in your 8th house, those confidence upgrades are more so about your psyche. But then also, could also be a confidence upgrade related to paying off debt. Thank you so much, Capricorn. And now on to Aquarius. Okay, so Aquarius, we have noticed a significant transformation that has happened over the past number of months when it comes to your identity, your goals, your appearance, your outlook on life. Yes, many shifts, and of Of course, this can manifest in many different ways. And at the same time, with Mars re-entering your 7th house as Mars moves back into Leo, we could look at this as you being more assertive within your one-to-one relationships, or having this eagerness to make things happen, to want to produce with others, create with others, feeling inspired by other people's art, by their creativity, by their interests, joining together perhaps with people who are a bit more like-minded, they have similar interests to you, maybe putting yourself out there to want to meet new people. Then again, this could also manifest as exciting new goals between you and your significant other, your partner, right? Maybe something that you're wanting to create together, or something they're creating where it's actually your partner. They're feeling excited about a new passion or a project, and you're wanting to celebrate them or help when you can. Now, with that being said, we're also seeing the power struggles, especially the power struggles that will occur at the beginning of this transit. So power struggles could be between you and your significant other. It could be about the time, over the time that you spend together or don't spend together. Power struggles even about business. So certain business deals or contracts, partnerships, right? Yes, there could be some frustration there present. Even power struggles related to what you want, right? Maybe a new chapter, a new step that you're wanting to take, but maybe it clashes with somebody else. But you see, with Taurus season, first of all, the sun will be in your 4th house. So maybe throughout Taurus season, it'll behoove you to try and focus more so on your own comforts, how you can look after yourself emotionally, how you can support yourself, ground yourself emotionally, maybe instead of jumping in or feeling like you need to defend yourself super quickly. Or this could be about being more attentive and thoughtful about how it is that you show up within your family. And then coming into Gemini season, I think is going to be quite playful and fun, and it'll be exciting for projects. So creative projects you're working on, maybe getting things moving with someone else, so you could collaborate with many people throughout that season. Or we can look at this as, romantically speaking, you feeling a bit more flirty and playful, and even just curious about new passions or new interests or hobbies of yours. But still, this confidence upgrade is showing up within your relationships, Aquarius. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Lastly, we have Pisces. Okay, so Pisces, over the past number of months, you have underwent significant transformations, more so when it comes to your health, especially your psychological health, your mental health, right? Spiritual values have transformed perhaps. And maybe you've been in a bit of a cocooning stage for a period of time. Maybe you've needed some extra privacy. You've needed to keep to yourself. Also, this could be your dreams transforming in some way, or your dreams being very active and telling you things, or, sort of having these vivid dreams and visions about the next step. And also, this could be related to prayer, forgiveness, acceptance, surrendering control in many ways, Pisces. But you see, with Mars re-entering your 6th house as Mars enters Leo, we're going to see this shift, this enthusiasm, this inspiration to do with your everyday, to do with work. I'm thinking about creativity being blended in with your work, or I'm thinking about how you create or how you produce on a day-to-day basis. So there could be some exciting new goals that you want to move forward with. Could also be about exciting projects with coworkers, or maybe it's about some new program that you want to start or join, maybe related to your health, fitness, right? So we think about your fitness goals, for example, here. But then we also notice the power struggles regarding health, power struggles with your therapist, power struggles with, health practitioners, power struggles with coworkers, colleagues. We could also see this manifest as power struggles about what your beliefs are, right? Thinking about believing in a higher power, right? There could be some challenges there that come up asking you to listen or change something. But then we think about how the sun will be in your third house throughout Taurus season. So maybe this is about trying to steady your mind, steady your thoughts. It's also about being intentional about what you're saying, about what you're trying to communicate. Maybe also this is about appreciating what you have learned, or maybe this could also show up as you feeling quite grounded within your local area, maybe going for a light walk, being out in nature, spending more time being slow and steady about how you show up within your local area, town, city, etc. Even thinking about how it is that you show up on social media and things that you can do to maybe feel more at ease there. Now, as we move into Gemini season, however, Gemini season with the sun being in your fourth house, we could look at this as greater engagement, being a bit more social with family. Maybe many family activities are going to happen. There could be a lot of changes that happen amongst family members and you're trying to keep up with everything, or you're trying to juggle a million things at once with family. There could be many chores, many tasks, just you'll be busy. We can look at this as you being pretty busy, pretty occupied, Pisces. Though the confidence upgrades are going to show up within could be your occupation. It could also be confidence upgrades about your schedules, about your routines, your daily habits. Thank you so much, Pisces. But overall, everybody, this has been the video all about Mars re-entering Leo. I hope you have found this video to be helpful. I hope it has prepared you for Mars and Leo and that you have learned something new. If you find it to be helpful, you can always buy me a coffee. And I do want to say thank you so much again to the sponsor of today's video, Astopia. Make sure to check out Astopia below. Stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!